Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Hope everybody is doing well. I'm just opening up the last little bit here. I had some emails I had to take care of, so I think I'm a couple of minutes late getting going here, but get right down to it. Wonderful Friday morning. Okay, so let's go. There we go. Okay, and put on some tunes. What's up, Spotty? How you doing? Spotty, let me know if you can hear the music. OBS is giving me one heck of a time lately with this music. It's up, but it's not registering. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it or not. Guten Morgen. Good to see you here. All right. Okay, so let's head on over to. It's Poopy Doopy. How we doing, Poopy Doopy? All right. Let's throw this out here. All right, guys. So Tip Ranks is one of the tools that I am adding to my daily process here. I really enjoyed the tool so far. I'm hoping to put some more work into it when I start to unlock some of the other features. But for now, if you guys are interested in what exactly I am in, this might be of interest to you. It breaks down each different allocation as far as company, sector, and asset. So you can see my holdings, you can see the position, you can see the gains up or down, and we go from there. But at least that's there and for you guys, if you guys are ever there. Yeah, I mean, so for me, guys, with long equity, one of the things that you have to remember is with long equity, I'm not actually, uh, I can see numbers like this, like MBRX down 9, ACRX down 8.5. And I can't say I don't see those numbers. I do see the numbers. However, in saying that I see the numbers, it's not, this doesn't cripple me because I understand where this is and why this is doing what it's doing. And I also understand where it's going. So, ACRX, for example, let's go to ACRX. Okay, so this is the thing that I'm looking at right now with ACRX. Okay, so we're at $1.50. For me, I see that, okay, we're at $1.50. The 12-month forecast, there's a dollar low. Okay, dollar low. So I have an opportunity. I might lose $1. Um, but for analysts, the high is 9, the low is 1, and the average is 6.25. So for me with ACRX, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's at $1.50 right now. What do we think? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? What's the risk reward on it? For me, for this to decline from $1.50 down to $1, I'm okay with that because this thing has a strong buy rating and a possibility of $9 from where it is, right? So yeah. Fortunately, I can't use all of the tools here, but I hope to be able to use them shortly. But that's definitely there for you. Um, yeah, yeah. So just my thoughts. That's there for you guys. If you want, you can definitely check that out. I'm gonna add a command in after today for tip ranks so that you guys can check it out. It'll just be exclamation portfolio or something. It'll be that moving forward. It doesn't work yet, but it will be up and running when I figure out how to do that today. Otherwise, let's get down to it. Start with the market. We can get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, leave that stuff, get rid of this, get rid of this, keep that stuff. Okay. Markets. Today's markets. See how we're doing. Oh, Herr Ladas, thank you so much for the subscription. I do appreciate that so much, and I do appreciate how much. I do appreciate so much you guys being here at 4:30 in the morning. My English is still escaping me. My brain is still turning on. But thank you so much for that. So the markets today are not looking happy. However, that being said, remember, guys, the SPY is over 3,000. That's my entire long equity portfolio. My entire long equity portfolio. So that's the portfolio started at the start of this year with 3 grand. And it is where it is now. Now one of the interesting things is, I guess maybe it's conversion. Maybe that's it. USD to CAD. No, sorry, that's not what I want. I want to go to tip ranks. I want to look at my portfolio. I want to go. All right, total holdings 1863. 1860. Yeah, okay. So I started with 3K Canadian this year. So 2179 US. And now yeah, like you guys saw, 18.6. That's where we are now. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good year so far. It's a good year. Okay. I do have an options portfolio that's outside of this. It's with less than 1%. I think there's like a 300 couple, maybe $300 worth of plays in there. So not a ton in there. Can you guys hear the music at all? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear the music at all. Okay, so what's utilities, healthcare? No. Bah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the audio. I'm gonna have to play around with this today. Advanced audio properties. Audio monitoring. Monitor and output. Drives me nuts. That's true. You guys can play the music you like. That's true. I just for the bot, I like to have that there for people, but you can definitely play the music you guys want to listen to on your end, I guess. I hadn't considered that as much. Okay, so we got the utility, healthcare, real estate, material sector leading the way here. Tech is dropped down quite a bit, but this is probably on the, I mean, tech and communications are probably down. MFA risk. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Why don't we start there so I don't forget to do that? So let's go over to, we'll go here, we'll go dashboards, we'll go MFA. And then let's go here, let's go MFA. Okay, so MFA, guys. MFA is an REIT. REIT means it holds a bundle of different real estate items in it. MFA Financial Holdings. So similar to an ETF. No, I don't want institutional holdings. I want. So similar to an ETF where you take a bunch of pieces of stocks and you put them all together and make them into one package. Well, a mortgage REIT, the way that works is they take a large selection of mortgage holdings and put that together under their portfolio, and you're essentially trading their ownership in all of those different parts and pieces. Okay. So before the drop, you'll see that MFA was extremely stable. not really growing, not really shrinking. You can go back 5 years, you'll see that like this is an extremely stable stock. Like that's good, stable growth. And it went up with the market fairly consistent, right? I go back 20 years. Okay, so I mean like good, stable growth. Okay. And that's on a diversified portfolio that they have. Okay, so let's go back over to the Motley Fool here. Um, so they're working in mortgage-backed securities. Um, so this is a breakdown of their assets versus their loans. Um, what they're doing here is they've diversified between just holding loans outside agency-backed loans and private loans. And so MFA is a really well balanced portfolio of both. Now, the risk on this is in the event that we see something like, excuse me, that we see something like 2008, right, where the mortgages just default everywhere. They go down, but let's be honest, the entire economy goes with them in the event that that happens. But they could go down. The other thing is because they are not completely in agency-backed mortgage securities. Right now, the money printer that goes burr pumps into agency-backed securities, not non-agency. So anything that they've got that's outside non-agency is never going to get a pump from the Fed. The Fed is never going to buy it up, and they've got to manage those on their own. Now, people are paying their mortgage still, and that's still happening. The levels of forbearance are significantly lower now. Question about how do MBs work? Which assuming when the company uses their assets to gain access to loans and none of the money from said loans earning interest. So I can't really speak to the whole loan industries or how the mortgage-backed securities are working other than this. Um, it used to be that you had to have a certain amount of capital available to buy up these mortgage-backed securities that were agency-backed securities. Okay, you had to show that you were a confident lender that had the capital to cover a lot of that. And then when you loan it out, it's similar to when you go to any bank, you get your mortgage at prime plus, right? So whatever the current interest rate is plus that little bit for the bank. And the reason why the banks can do that is because they are offering you better security than if you were to go with a private lender of some kind, right? So if you were to just go down the street and find Tony the loan shark and say, "Hey, Tony, I would love to take out a $200,000 loan to buy my home." Tony goes, "Sure, no problem, but you don't pay me, I break your legs," right? Like, probably not what you want to do. So people are willing to go to the bank and say, "Okay, well, you guys are there's oversight with you. There's regulation around you. The contracts are quite clear with you. So I am willing to pay you prime plus whatever your portion is in order to be able to access those funds from your bank." And the government says, yes, you can do this because you are a bank or you're a facility that has mortgage-backed securities in a certain level. Okay. Now, the thing with this, guys, is this. The dividend yield on MFA for me, and we did this risk analysis on the last one, right? So right now, here's where we stand on MFA financial for the long run. 4 analysts are on it. Average price target is $1.75. High forecast of 250, low forecast of 1. I think they are severely underestimating the return of the MREITs and REITs. I think that these, as the economy recovers, we're going to see that go up. What is the one thing people want to keep most of all? It's their home through this. Okay, they don't want to lose their house. They want a place for their family to live. And so I think that these payments out of an MFA Financial are going to keep happening. Now, is there going to be a certain level of forbearance right now? Absolutely. But does that mean that these mortgage-backed securities are super high risk? No. Because they balance out their portfolio between agency and non-agency, they do have some support from the Fed coming in. And then as we continue to grow and continue to grow, people on Twitter saying hello. Yeah, so I'm fairly confident in his position as far as the risk goes. I would weight it 80-20 to the upside. Whether that's a number that you're comfortable with, you have to definitely decide for yourself. But the risk is that the entire thing could fall out from underneath itself. Um, Got to put out my 4:30 a.m. What's up, world? Okay. But yeah, that's MFA. Um, so it's had a. If we look at the past month, you'll see that it dipped down here to 144. Back up to 177. I I seriously think that a return back up to these $5-6 levels are possible over the next 6 months. I've been a part of the 430 club for 2 years. Um, I just the level of productivity. I mean, I used to get up pretty early anyway. I used to get up 5:30. So for me to push it the extra hour, the first couple days always sucks, guys, when you go for that. So if you're interested in trying it out, um, if what inspired me to try it? What inspired me to try it was this. I found that when I woke up at 5 o'clock, at that time anyway, some of my kids were still getting up pretty early. They were getting up around 5:30 instead of at 6. And so for me, it was really difficult because I needed the hours in the morning for myself. As a father of eight, it's extremely difficult for me to wake up and just have some quiet time for myself. And despite what a lot of people may think, I'm not an extrovert. I am an introvert. I need the time to process alone, which is why I've got this man cave built for me to run to and have this ability to process here, which is why this morning call is so important. So it's kind of cool that I get to share it with you guys, and I love doing that. But this is my process time. This is my learn and grow time. And so I needed that. And what I realized was when I shifted my wake up from 5:30 to 4:30. Right now, I am working up at 4:15 instead of 4:30 because I have to be up before the stream to do the stream. I just find it's more productive. I get a lot more done in my day. So by the time most of the world wakes up and gets to work, it's 9 a.m. I've already been working for 4.5 hours. Definitely not derailing me whatsoever. So what we were doing is we are going to today's market. I love questions, guys. At least you guys are here and I can pop off and offer some insights as well as to my process. But globally, guys, we are looking fairly strong. They're not terrible numbers. Oil's doing all right this morning. They're not great, but they're not terrible for Friday morning. Do we have anything as far as financials coming out today? Okay, we had a bunch of numbers out of Japan, out of Europe. Retail numbers were better out of Germany than we thought. Retail numbers were worse. Consumer spending was worse out of France. GDP wasn't as bad as they were expecting. Italy GDP was on target, not worse or not better. Oh, that's no bueno. Okay, so what's Clifton saying about Australia? Australia. It says you guys are up for the day. It says you guys are up for the day, but this again, like EWA is an ETF that's doing its best to demonstrate the Australian market. So it's not the Australian market itself. And you definitely have to take that into consideration. See, I love this time of morning, guys. Okay. Yeah. So like this is an ETF. This is not an accurate representation of the market itself, right? This is a Australia iShares MSCI ETF. So this is a grouping of shares that's supposed to like the SPY. the SPY is supposed to represent the S&P 500. It doesn't directly correlate. It's supposed to, but it doesn't. And there's some variation on it. But yeah, that's amazing. That there's that much of a difference of, well, I guess that's not really that much, right? Like, it's a difference of 2%, so it's not huge. But yeah, I don't see any positive news really that's going to blow this up. Personal income, personal spending, maybe. Trump's got a news conference at 1, so that's something that it's definitely worth watching out for. Okay, so let's head to the next section here. Let's start breaking down PR. Okay, so yesterday, guys, you know that I've been in NBRX for a while. It's been halted for a long time. It resumed its trading. I did get upticked yesterday. Oppenheimer analyst Kevin DeGeer maintained a buy rating on Moleculin at $2. Okay. All right. So what's this guy's name? DeGeeter? Kevin DeGeeter. Says he's over here on Tippering. So let's check him out. Kevin DeGeeter. There he is. Okay, so he's a 5-star analyst. Average return per year. Each rating is measured over a year period and compared to no benchmark. Okay, so let's follow the man. Let's follow the man and see what he's up to. Novavax, ATNX. Show more ratings. He has more. Okay. I recognize some of the stuff that he has here for sure. He's done a lot of ratings on a lot of different stuff here, so I'm just trying to get a gauge of INSEE, Amgen, BCRX, Gilead. Ranked number 225 out of 6,600. Yeah, it is looking like it's going to be a red day, depending on what Trump has to say today, for sure. This guy's got a good track record. I mean, average turn per rating of 23%. It's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Okay. So yeah, he's got it priced at 2. It's at 97 cents right now. I think it's actually going to go a lot more than 2. Okay, this is just them securing the rights to WP 1122. This is just saying that it is resumed trading. So yeah, NBRX is back on the market, guys. I did not have after all of this time of it being off the market, it had a decline yesterday. So it opened as high as 165 and dropped down to Yeah, so 163 and as low as as low as 97. Uh, as low as 91 actually. So it finished 97. It's up to 99 already today. Guys, this is a strong portfolio. I really like it. Um, so I'm glad that it's back out on the market. I did expect it to decline at the gate because all of the Robinhood bag holders on this thing, um, I expected them to try to run for the hills. And it got an uptick yesterday, which means that short sellers couldn't pile in on it. But the reality is all of those that wanted to sell and get out from Robinhood are out. So now what we've got is the ability for this thing to actually move because all those that actually believe in the stock, believe in what it is, have done their due diligence, know where this is going to go and we're going to go up. What's going to happen is when the uptick gets lifted, short sellers from Robinhood are going to pile in. It's going to be a reality because this has some buzz on it. It was just unhalted, so they're going to hop in and short selling. Now, short selling for the first little bit actually drives the stock up, right? Because people are buying into it. What happens is we're going to see that ebb and flow where as the short sellers pile in, you're also going to see some legitimate buyers pile in because see the stock price going up. And as the stock price goes up, some short sellers take their losses. So you see a little bit of dip, and then we're going to go back up. So that's MBRX. Now this Kevin DeGeeter guy has it at $2 over a 12-month cycle. My price point on it is actually going to be my success rate on this stock has been fairly accurate so far. I think I'm going to go probably 250, maybe even $4, but I'm willing to hold. I definitely see more of an upside to a downside on it, so I'm willing to hold through and see what happens for sure. Okay. Where are we here? Right. So that's Moleculin. I'll clear that news from the press releases. Acquired or acquisitions. See if there's anything meaningful in the acquisition section here. Okay, so there's an acquisition that I know I'm going to hear about today. Okay, otherwise I don't see a lot in there. FDA approved. Okay. Remember, guys, the ASCO starts today, so that's pretty exciting for me. I've been waiting this cancer play for a while now. Okay, so there it is for FDA approvals. There's a bunch of articles to read there. Let's move on to ACRX. They've got some news. Okay. Orphan drug designation. Okay. DMPI. Some conjecture around DMPIs here, so I'd like to read that. Tetraphase. This back and forth. No, that's unfortunate. Yeah, with some of these tools, they are very much US focused. They are very much about the US market. And as a Canadian, I bet you I probably wouldn't be able to find a lot of the TSX stocks that are on there either. And that's unfortunate. So, my apologies that you can't use the tool for yourself, but at the very least, you guys will still have access to my portfolio. That way, you guys can keep me honest. I will make sure to try to keep it updated as I take positions and plays. And that way, you guys don't just get to see my DD, you actually get to see my portfolio performance over the year. Okay. So GameStop, let's see. Anything about the stock in And then there's a bunch of upgrades. We'll come back to the upgrades if we get to it, because this is a lot of medical news to read. So let's go through that. Updevo Yervoy. So guys, again, this is Bristol Myers. BMY continues to be strong. This is another approval for NSCLC. So great news for BMY. Again, guys, remember with Merck and BMY respectively, I have a price target on BMY of 65 over 12 months. And Merck, I have a target of, what's not on here? Hold on. Merck, I have a target of 85. Where did that just go? No, I don't want Apple on here. Merck. MRK. Okay. And I've got a target at 85 on this. Those are targets that I set back in January. It's fairly confident that price movement. If we go back 6 months, the date. You'll see back in January we were not molecular. Merck. You'll see back in January we were up at 90. But in January, we knew that COVID was coming, so I expected a decline, not a huge decline, so I had it at 85. I'm still confident that this is going to come back up to that 85 mark. The stock has a lot of value to it, and I think it's just going to return to some more reasonable levels moving forward. So Eli Lilly is a huge beast. It's one of the bigger bio stocks, so they got approval. They're definitely going to go up today. I'll put it in here. This is definitely a more expensive play. It's not really an equity play. It's definitely more of an options play, but that's there. All eyes on the ASCO. Presentations start at 8 a.m. So be ready to roll. 8 a.m. we get going. I'm pretty pumped for this. I wonder if I can go to the conference. ASCO virtual meeting. I'm just gonna put this over here for a second, guys. Apparently, you can register for this conference. This is going to be huge. I would love to be able to actually go to this ASCO conference. Okay, so non-member register now. Hmm. It's a little bit steep, but let's see what we can do here. Where's it going? No. Hey, that's good. That's good. See if I can't get in on this. I would love to have that free access. It is possible. Goldman Sachs expects the S&P will plunge back to 2,400 over the next 3 months, representing the potential decline of 1,800. So, Boris, that is possible in the event that we have a resurgence in the virus into flu season or a mutation virus into flu season. So, there's a lot of people that have that conjecture that that's what we're going to see. I very much doubt that we are going to see that plunge given the amount of data that I'm seeing coming out of these companies towards COVID. It's like we'll have several candidates that are possible. I think what happens here is we see these vaccines rush to market, and the majority of folks out there that are scared, running by fear, are going to take that opportunity to take those vaccines, regardless of the rush testing on them, which will give us some more herd immunity to the virus, which will diminish the effect that it had. I think we can also conclusively say that we won't see an immediate lockdown like we did last time. It didn't actually do anything other than completely blow up the economy. So I think we'll see a different approach there. The big thing that I think that we need to watch for is China. We need to watch for China to have a resurgence. They're first to have it. They'd be first to see a resurgence. So definitely keep an eye on China. Now, if you don't trust the numbers coming out of China, which most don't, keep your eyes on South Korea and see what happens there. But it is a possibility, of course. Everything is a possibility. But in this case, hmm, okay, well, can't get in on ASCO because I'm not going to spend $350 to attend the conference. So I'll just get the press releases as they drop from the conference, and those are free. So, but what I do want to do is I want to go over here. I want to go ASCO. I want to go to news. I've done the bottom here, create an alert, show options. As it happens, all sources, English, US, all results, RSS feed, create alert, Subscribe. Okay. Okay. So all I did there, guys, was create a search RSS feed that plugs into this feeder extension. So throughout the day, as news comes in from the ASCO, I'm going to get updates on it. And this way I don't have to constantly be searching for it, right? Very useful tool. For anybody that trades FA, I highly recommend making the investment into feeder. It's a huge benefit to me where I know you guys can't see the extension drop down here, but the ability to see these, to have constant updates on every position that you're in is extremely valuable. That being said, IMMP is one that I have to news. Give me tap. Tools, recent, past. Alert. Options. Weapons, automatic. US. All results. Feed. Tap. Subscribe. I did take an Immutep position yesterday, headed into the ASCO, so just want to keep an eye on them as well. Okay, so proves Avid's pet agent for tau imaging. Okay, so this is the Eli Lilly play. Outline. Let's see if we can get this whole thing. Press Trump conference is at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Where did this go? So Quest Diagnostics, guys, that's a name that pops up frequently. They got approval on their test, so expect to see some movement on Quest today. We'll add that to the list over here. Quest. Like to read this, please. Please let me know, guys, if you can hear the music, because if you can, I need to turn it. Okay, so this issue here, guys, this lawsuit, essentially what's happening is, so when you get an orphan drug designation, it says for 7 years, your drug cannot be sold by anybody else on the market. And that's just a way of saying thank you to the company for creating a drug that otherwise, excuse me, wouldn't have existed. It wouldn't have been on the planet. Now, what's happening is these drugs are being created, and then either at the end of their 7 years or at the 6 or 5 year, what they're doing is they're saying, okay, well, guys, I also have a drug that I want you to take a look at. So go ahead and take a look at this. and let me know what you think. Oh, and the FDA goes, oh yeah, well this is similar to what we used to have, but it's different for sure. So um, it's different enough anyway that you can apply for this ruling. And um, what's happening is it's getting approved for another 7 years. And so what this law is saying is, okay, well, you get one orphan drug designation that locks it out of the market from anybody else being able to compete for 7 years. And then another company comes in, makes a small tweak to it, reapplies for the orphan drug designation, and then bam, what happens? Well, you end up with two people that can do the drug, and then another one after 7 years, and another one. And all it does is delay the market from being able to get into selling the drug as a generic. And that's the risk that they're seeing happen. I just want to show you guys, we got some new emotes on the stream. We have the Canadian beaver that's always been there, but the waiter icon, oh boy, WTRH, and the QB for the long bomb Hail Mary plays that we take are there. So huge shout out to Hare for the subscription. I do appreciate that over on Twitch, and those new emotes are yours. I do still have some additional emotes available to create, guys, so I'm not sure quite yet what I'm going to do with them, but yeah, definitely want to get those spots filled up. It takes a multitude of disciplines for a pharmaceutical company to succeed. So this is just a conjecture piece. I don't like it. I don't like INO. It's saying that they're doing such a phenomenal job. Um, and if their COVID drug is the winner, then we're gonna have this fantastic movement on the stock. And it's like, well, yeah, that's a true statement. However, that's true of every company that currently has a potential COVID vaccine. So I'm not really blown away by that. Starting to lose my voice here, so I'm gonna take a 60-second break here, go grab some water, and I will be right back, guys. All right. East West Biosciences manufacturing subsidiary, their their hand sanitizer. Okay, so I don't know that East West Biosciences is on the. Oh, it is. Hey, Dunhill, how you doing, man? Good morning. So they have a new hand sanitizer that's been approved by the FDA. That's kind of great news for them. So I'll be very interested to see how this stock does. I may throw something into that today. Uh, BMY got an EU approval. So BMY is going to continue to run. ATRX got a buy rating. Price target of $8. Yowza! ACRX at $8. Higgins is a 4-star analyst. So let's go back over here. Michael Higgins. Interesting. Okay, so I mean, at the very least, he's a 4-star rated tip ranks guy. Which is pretty good. Okay. I'm getting distracted here. Current endless consensus is a strong buy. Average price target of 625. So yeah, so this is why I love ACRX, guys. 625. This thing is at $1.56 right now. Over the next 12 months, it stands to gain quadruple. 400% gains. This is private sector, so we can't trade it. ACRX. This is the one that I keep talking about, guys, that is about the replacement for morphine in the military. So instead of having to have IVs or injections for morphine in the battlefield, they created a sublingual, which means it's a capsule that you put under the tongue of a patient, and it acts as a morphine replacement. This is going to reduce opioid addiction. They already have an agreement with the Department of Defense. You do not have it in your trade platform? Dunhill, where are you from? Oh, yeah, you might not be able to trade it. Which is unfortunate because I really, really like the stock. I like where it is. I like where it's going. I think it's got some huge potential. Phase Biopharmaceuticals, doing the Vanguard pivotal hospitalized patient. Okay, so Phase Biopharmaceuticals. Let's see if they're publicly traded. They are PHAS. So that's another one we want to be looking at. PHAS. East West was the other one. So I want to put that over there. I want to put that over there. So I remember what these are for the morning call. Therapy fibrosis granted U.S. orphan drug designation for TL012 for systemic sclerosis. So there's no stock on this, unfortunately, so you can't get in on that. Delmar. It's one of those financial articles. Okay. Um, so ACRX is up their bid again on Tetraphase, which is great. GameStop is going to do their earnings on Tuesday, June 9th, so we have confirmation on that. So that'll be good. I think we see GameStop move up towards that earnings. Okay, so that's it for that, guys. Let's head over into the socials. Okay, Bloomberg. Turkey's economy built up enough momentum at the start of the year to clock one of the fastest expansion rates among peers during the first quarter. Interesting. Confidence in their own economy. I hate this word. I honestly can never get this word right. It drives me nuts. Okay, euro area inflation. Italy's economy shrank more than initially estimated. Of course it did. Russia's saying to stay home. UK business confidence slumps to match the record low seen during the financial crisis. Oh, very interesting. If China's facing a lack of liquidity. Um, yeah, so every stock has an ISIN. Well, every stock on the Nasdaq anyway has an ISIN. So you may be able to search it by that if you're trading over in Europe. I'm not sure what his speech today is about, so we could definitely take a look at that. Trump conference, press conference today. I don't think that this is going to be a positive one for the market, guys. Um, Trump's speaking on China today. Um, yeah, absolutely. Please go ahead. All I ask guys with links is you do exactly what Hare just did, and that is let me know what it is, and then I'm more than happy for you guys to link it. The only reason I have that there, I don't know if you guys are all going to remember this, but the first couple days, we did have people popping in here with links that were, let's say, counterproductive at the very least. I trust you guys, but at the same token, I just want to have that best practice in of if you have a link, just let me know what it is, and then put it in, and we're all Gucci. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting on this is okay, so we got this back and forth between China and the US, right? Okay, fine. Um, the reality is we've got this this back and forth happening, and now we're reading that China is facing liquidity issues. And currently the world, when they're facing liquidity issues, is running to the US Fed and saying, help us out. We need some liquidity to get things up and running, to get things going. China can't turn to the US right now because of the situation. So it's really, really touchy where we've got this very thin phase one deal, trade deal that's in place. We also have tension over the Huawei executive that's about to be seen in U.S. courts. We have the U.S. exchanges not allowing Chinese companies to really IPO anymore. We've got the tensions over COVID, of course. We've got Hong Kong tensions happening. Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of Defense, has just been spewing rhetoric all over the place. So this is I think we do see a red day today. I can't see Trump saying anything that's going to be productive. I think it's just going to be inciting. And depending on where you stand on the Hong Kong issue, you will either be happy about that or you won't. But um, yeah, it's not going to be good for the market. It's interesting. There's a couple of countries here that have raised interest rates through COVID. Okay, Yahoo Finance. I mean, yeah, I think ACRX would probably fall under that for sure. Of like, it's kind of it's a sub $2 biopharmaceutical. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys can actually find it globally. This is interesting. Where it's saying that they're going to raid their retirement funds during the pandemic. Um, it's McDonald's. Is it McD? Is that? I feel like that's what I want it to be, but I don't know that. D. Um, okay. What else we got here? Jim Cramer's tweeting. I don't know if you guys can do it or not, but interactive brokers. Let me pull it up here. Interactive brokers. Just want to sign in here. Interactive brokers. So you guys can hear the music or no? Because this is I just got to notice that my that sucks. That makes that no. Okay, so I just need to stop listening to that altogether. Apparently you can hear the music. Facebook just blocked my video because of it. That's unfortunate. That really sucks. We got to figure out what is going on with OBS. Driving me nuts. It's interesting because you guys said that you couldn't hear the music, which means that I just don't understand how it's picking that up. That means that I won't be able to monetize the YouTube video either. That's too bad. Okay. Okay. Don't need this loaded. Close window. Damn. I wonder what is going on. I need to go back and listen now because that you guys can't hear it, I can't hear it, but it's still coming through is really irritating. Hopefully that doesn't. I'll have to go back and listen to the VOD now because I there's no way I'm going to be able to monetize this on YouTube if that was playing that whole time. Hmm. I'll have to completely cut that section. Oh well. Oh well. I will play with OBS this weekend and figure that out. Interactive brokers. If you guys are interested in trying out interactive brokers, I'll put the link here. Interactivebrokers.com. I don't know if you guys have access where you are. This is the one that I use for my options because it lets me trade a wider variety of stocks. If you guys can use this in your country, let me know. Shoot me your email and I'll shoot you a referral link. Um, this is it's a premium. It's a premium trading platform, guys. So I highly recommend it. It's super reliable. Has a lot of access to a lot of plays that most. So if you're on Robinhood, like this thing blows the hell out of Robinhood. Um, okay. Where was I? So Quest. Yeah, we've got all this for the day. Um, Jim Cramer. What did Jim Cramer have to say? Gold is correct to own in any environment. I caution that. It has moved a lot since the merger, and I'm sensitive to people who say I just got on it, even as I got on it with the merger occurred a long time ago. Mark Bristow is great. Not much there from him this morning. Oh no. Oh no. Here we go again. Let's see it. Where's the. Trying to see the tweets that have these additions, but I'm not seeing them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that that's going to help. I think I'd probably get more results than I know what to do with searching China on Trump's feed. Um, So clean fossil fuels have been removed from China's green bond list, which is huge. What else do we have going on? This is a housing market guy again. Hmm. They've got a lot of options for sure. Harry, if you just want to DM me your email, I'll send you a referral, and you can check them out. I'll do that after the stream, Harry. Awesome. Okay, so let's go here. So not seeing a ton of news really flow in today. That's big. Pfizer's saying that they could have a vaccine out by October, which is the timeline we want to see for sure. Okay. So, of course, the CNN has an article out saying that conservative voices are not being silenced. So, where CNN immediately misunderstands this entire situation is not that the level of engagement is high on it. What it needs to look at is the level of content being removed, banned, suppressed, muted by the platform. It completely misses the argument. Completely misses it. So the content that's left on these conservative sources is higher because conservatives are looking for news from those people for sure. However, if you were to look at the actual stats of what's been removed, what's been blocked, what's been muted, what's been pulled down, or what's had these fact checks put on them, I guarantee you that the conservatives are far outweighing the liberals on that. Okay. Oh, I hadn't considered this. Apparently, there's a bunch of Hong Kongers trying to become British citizens. I hadn't considered that as a possibility. Interesting. Renault's cutting jobs. Global stocks drop. People are very, very intimidated by what Trump is going to do. I think 1 o'clock today is going to be a bit of a shit show, guys. Trump is just going to go at China, and I can't see it going well. I can't see him coming out and saying, "Yeah, we're going to play nice." Yikes! What's the Rolls Royce ticker? Anybody know? Rolls Royce is down to junk. RLLRF. No, RL in the US is Ralph Lauren. RLLRF, it's a pink sheet. Um, it's kind of a huge deal. Uh, maybe I can get around it. No, they're too far locked behind. Can't get in there. Oh, it's RR? Mm, no, we don't have an RR. The only place that I see Rolls Royce is on the pinks, unfortunately, here. But that makes sense. It's European stock. Not all of them are available here. Um, Value engines just got an upgrade. That's funny. Um, oh man. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're an outdated model. I think they're an outdated model. I think that they're something that used to be a symbol of luxury and class, and they no longer are. They now represent a symbol of you are old. Drug gangs still rule. Morning, Red Mananas. I'm just gonna call you Rad from now on. Um, your name feels like it's a breach of TOS. Um, all right. Nothing else going on here. We've got. Okay, so this is fine. Thousands gathered to express their anger over the death at a peaceful gathering. No problem. Later, the third precinct station became a target. Okay, so now you're attacking police. This becomes a problem. This is an issue. The big issue with this is I guarantee you these people are not concerned about face masks 6 feet apart, coughing, sneezing, yada yada yada. Yeah, I think there's just other alternatives now. Like, there's no reason for you to go get yourself a Rolls Royce when you can go get a Phantom or a Tesla. Uh, I think that symbol of luxury and notoriety has faded from Rolls-Royce, unfortunately. Um, yeah, we're at a state of emergency in Minnesota as a result of this. Interesting. Denmark has the same effect as everyone else. Their GDP crashes when bad stuff happens. They're not the symbol of economic stability that some members of the Democratic Party would have us believe. Very interesting. Let's take Jim on something. Hmm. What say you guys? Tag Jim on something here? Let's see if I can get Jim Cramer to answer on this. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a look at the stocks to watch section here, guys. Stocks to watch. Look at this. Other people are finally getting it. Stay away from this. Short this if you can. in a big way. I'm not offering financial advice. That's just my opinion. Um, yeah, it kind of boggles my mind too. I suppose in desperation, when you see opportunity, you take it. I don't know their circumstances, but I don't know that you're making a case for the police to not. The police should never act the way that they did first. What they did was completely wrong. Never should have done that. With 4 officers on scene, there is no reason for you to be using physical force like that on that gentleman. None whatsoever. Um, George Floyd had no reason to be down on the ground with a knee on his throat with 4 police officers on scene. Never. Never is that going to be okay. However, that does not justify people going out in mass, burning, looting, and destroying their community. It definitely doesn't justify a peaceful protest transitioning into attacking a police station. Absolutely unacceptable. Just because one side was wrong in one circumstance doesn't mean that we just get to go into a state of anarchy. That doesn't benefit anybody. What's interesting is a lot of these traders are trading these technicals. I will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. 60 seconds. I will see you real soon. Okay, back at it. Harry, you should be receiving an email very shortly on IB or from IB, so that'll be there for you to check out. Their fills are good. I use them for my options trading. I'm a huge fan. Um, okay. What else do we have popping up in here? I wonder if there are options available on VTIQ. There are. Ooh. Ooh. Well, that's unfortunate. Damn, the price on these options for VTIQ is insane. Morning, Hitch. How you doing? Yikes. I mean, I do still have my waiter money in there. I'm tempted to take that out because I see this thing falling like a freaking cement block. Man, you are up early, Hitch. That's 3 a.m. for you. Yeah, Google Vodafone. That's a thing for sure. Yeah, Hitch. Watch for that Trump press conference at 1 today. He's going balls to the wall against China. So if you're looking to make plays, that yikes. Uh, yeah, that's some scary stuff. Uh, so this is interesting. Sweden, who went with a herd immunity strategy as opposed to a lockdown, is actually showing economic growth. Like, let's look at the worldometer to see how they're doing on outbreak. This is good. This leveling is good. This is a good thing. Daily deaths on the decline and the leveling out. This is good. Um, Sweden. Where are you? 25th. 25th in Sweden. But I want total cases per million. Vatican City has one of the highest rates. Nobody really lives in Vatican City. That's the only reason why I left there. That's counted at all. It's kind of interesting. Um, Sweden, where are you on the list? Per million, you definitely had more. So they've got their top 25 for per million, but deaths per million. No, they're still pretty high on deaths per million too. They're top 10 for deaths on million. So they sacrificed. Now their numbers are lower. I'll give you that. They're 35,000 to 4,000 deaths, but deaths per million population they're quite high. So they did have a high rate of mortality on this, um, higher than the U.S. So Netherlands, I know, was another one that did the herd, and they were worse than the U.S. But Spain, UK, Italy, France, like these guys all went into lockdown. They did worse than these guys. So I mean, comparatively, I don't think that you can compare Sweden to the U.S. They're too different. But I think Sweden to Italy, Spain, or France, I think that's a reasonable comparison. and herd immunity seems to have actually worked better for them. It's pretty surprising. Pretty surprising stuff. I mean, what's interesting is I now do wonder exactly what is the extent that the SEC can actually litigate against traders. The website that Martini was looking at the big funds positions. No, I don't remember. Yeah, every country's pointing blame on somebody else if they're not reporting correctly. The only one I think everybody can agree is not reporting correctly is China. There's no way those numbers are accurate, but everybody else is having a hard time nailing it down for sure. Okay, yes, this stocks to watch thing. I do wonder. At what point does the SEC look at this and go like, well, I mean, is this financial advice? Is posting charts from your investment firm considered investment advice? Is people outright calling this out? Is what I'm doing considered investment advice, even when I say this is my opinion? Like, I don't see qualifiers on this saying, well, this is my opinion. Well, no investment advice. There it is in her profile. Yeah, exactly. China. China always tells the truth. You must believe in China. I think they realize that they have no accountability. Nobody can hold them accountable to it. What? Why should they report accurate numbers? The WHO's not going to make them do it. The UN's not going to make them do it. Nobody's going to make them do it. Yikes! This is escalating. This is another. This is a different protest. This isn't the. This isn't the George Floyd. This is another. And the issue with this one is they entered this woman's house. Update: no officers fired their weapons. So this is not. So this is where. This is where. Okay. This is where I think Twitter, if you're gonna ever put a fact check on anything, this tweet right here, this announcement from the Associated Press, this crap absolutely needs to have a fact check on it, saying immediately there have been 7 shootings, no police officer has fired a weapon at all. Because all that this is doing right now is showing a protest against a police shooting, and the immediate place people's minds are going to go is, oh, there was a protest and 7 people were shot by police, and that is not the case here. This is where if Twitter wants to really show how transparent they are, how fantastic they are with their fact checker, like that's where that fact checker needs to go. Um, this really really is dangerous what they're doing, because this just incites the masses. This incites protesters, and the reality is 7 people were shot, absolutely, but not one officer fired their weapon. That means that people in the crowd shot people in the crowd. No, I didn't go over the executive order. The executive order was exactly what I suspected it would be, and that's asking the FTC and the Communications Commission to take a look at Section 230. And we went over Section 230 last night on Martini's stream. I didn't go over it because I didn't need to go over it. I know the president can't just create a law that says social media networks need to do this. His executive order can only ask the FTC to clearly define it, which is something that needs to happen. And both Biden and Trump are asking for this to happen, that there needs to be a clear playing field. What are social media platforms? Are they platforms where third parties come in and disseminate information, in which case you have no right to edit that information outside of reasonable terms of service already outlined in Section 230? Or are they editorials and publishers because they curate their content? If they're curating content, they are editors and publishers and need to be held to journalism standards, which completely obliterates social media networks. So I think what they need to do here is lay down that distinction very clearly in Section 230 and say, if you're going to be offering these little tidbits and you're going to start censoring one side or the other because you as a platform don't agree with opinions that are there, you are now a publisher and you are held accountable to journalism standards. So you're welcome to make that decision, but I bet you all of the social networks will say, well, no, we're not ever going to be publishers because then we're accountable for everything that happens. We're legally liable for everything that a third party is posting on our platform. So we're not going to do that. And we see a lot of this stuff around muting, banning, removing verification, removing blue check marks, fact checking on conservative sources disappear. It'll go away. And you'll see a lot more balance. But it's completely on the FTC. You cannot be that vague in the listing. Like that is the absolute, given the broad spectrum that 230 covers of every social media and online interaction, given how huge that is today, it is paper thin. You would expect that thing to be a book, and it is literally like 2 scrolls on a web page, and you're done. This is super scary for India, guys. If you're not aware of this, so India is already dealing with COVID like the rest of us. They have an increasing rate of contraction and mortality in their country. But on top of that, there are massive locust swarms that are flooding into India's fields. Like, look at that. Paywall. Blah. Can't see the image if I outline it. I'm not paying you for this. Um, I don't need to pay you. You know why I don't need to pay you, Bloomberg? Locusts in. This is why. Ooh, that's good news. Wind direction saves day as locusts change their course. Um, let's find some images though. I want to show you guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look at. Can you imagine? Try the dot, but a dot after the .com part. So it's .com dot. Oh, interesting. Okay, let me try it. If that works, I still want to. So .com dot. What? No way. That is amazing. That is amazing. Literally, my mind blown. Love it. Guys, we did get the stream. Um, we did get the stream emotes approved. So for those of you guys that like lurking, we do have some emotes available for you guys. A big shout again to Hair and to Cybot and to all the other subscribers that they're subscribing. We had a bunch of them in the recent days, but yeah, the icons that I told you guys were coming, the waiter icon and the QB for the Hail Mary plays, those are available as well as the beaver. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. I was able to get these done completely on Twitch Money, so that's fantastic. I'm glad that those are finally up, and I will be designing some more down the road. If you guys have suggestions of things that you want to see, I'll probably do something bio-related, maybe a doctor with a surgical mask or something. But we'll see. We shall see. Okay. What else we got going on here? Notifications. Let's go here. Let's go today's markets. Top news. Twitter places warning on Trump tweet that it glorified violence. Okay, is this going to work here for New York Times? Hitch, what have you done? You've opened a whole new world of articles for me. That's remarkable. That's so much simpler than Outline. Bye, Outline. Never need you again. So here's my issue with this, okay? The President of the United States puts out a warning that protesters in Minneapolis could be shot if they've in regards to their rioting. Okay, so this is again like New York Times needs to fact check, and so does Twitter. Okay, not protesters in Minneapolis. Remember, in Minneapolis, what started as a peaceful protest turned into rioting and pillaging. So rioting and pillaging would result in legal action. So this is again New York Times. Remember, guys, you got to follow the slant. Which side of the coin are we on? This is the left side. So expect the slant. Not the protesters. He's saying that the rioters in Minneapolis stand the risk of being shot. Now, I feel, as the President of the United States of America, for you to warn protesters is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a riot. It's just crazy. It's crazy. If the president says, for those of you that are currently rioting and pillaging through the city of Minnesota, there is a chance that you could get shot. That's not glorifying violence. That is, if anything, diminishing the risk of violence happening. But again, Twitter's come in, stepped in, made a decision, and this is exactly why this clarification needs to go in. Because not only now are they placing a warning sign on Trump stuff, they are literally censoring the President of the United States on their platform. That's a big deal. That this social platform has the ability to censor the President of the United States of America, that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. It absolutely changes the game if they can be editing and censoring and muting the President of the United States. Whether it's Trump or the next guy coming in or the guy that was in before him, irregardless, it doesn't matter who's in that office. If a social media network can choose to mute them to the masses, that is a huge deal. And it is a huge risk and is absolutely unacceptable. Yo, you know China's gonna throw out shade about the riot. Well, we wouldn't let Twitter show that. It's not good for the country. You're on the right path. If they want to be able to mute third-party creators, then they have to abide by all the rules that comes with that as being a journalistic media source. If they are journalism, then they have to abide by all the rules of journalism. If they claim to be a social media platform that has no accountability outside of what Section 230 already elicits, so that means anything in regards to cyberbullying, sexual trafficking, pornography, drug use, any terrorism, anything of that nature, so be it. But if Trump can make the announcement from the Oval Office, if he can make the announcement from the Oval Office, if he can tweet it from the seat of the head of the government, should be fine. Should be fine. Yep. Hey, Kimmy, what's up? Should be fine. So let's go see if I can't find an example for you here. Go here. Okay, so where's the fact check on this crap? No, I disagree. I disagree. The implications of not being allowed to censor politicians for any reason is worse. I absolutely disagree. Because if the social media platform is saying everything on here is third party unverified sources and you need to do your own due diligence, and that's supported by Section 230. So the FTC tells the world social media platforms, what is on there is for you to go and find first sources. Do your own due diligence, essentially. Social media is social media. It's a place where people post their ideas and their thoughts. And so long as they aren't pornographic, illegal, so long as they don't break the law or incite people to break the law. If President Trump is saying, for those of you that are breaking the law, be aware that you are at risk of being shot, that I don't think that's glorifying violence. I think that that's a real and legitimate 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is 5.5 hours from now. So like this, where's the fact check on this? Billionaire class is cashing in on the pandemic. That's what a rigged economy looks like. Like, where's the fact check on that? No fact check, right? Where's the fact check on this? Trump is responsible for the current decline in the economic system. Like, so that's exactly it. That's exactly what needs to be clarified in Section 230. Either you are a publisher who is responsible to fact check across all of your platforms on both sides of the coin, or you are not that. You are a social platform and you are not to fact check or offer your insights or opinion on either side of the coin because you are allowing independent third parties to post opinion. Opinion. So Trump's assertion to the FTC is that currently, this is exactly the issue that we have with social media, is that they have the ability to fact check, censor, remove, mute, and block, but not the obligation to. And their choice as to how they do or do not go about doing that is extremely weighted to the right and not to the left. So one of the ones that irritated me to no end the other week was Nancy Pelosi. Okay, so where's the fact check on this? Is this not inciting violence? Does this not incite people to go out and riot and protest when you've got things happening in Louisville and Minnesota? Is this not a huge risk? So that's the issue that I have, Twitch. There's no, or Hitch, there's no legal clarification on 230. They are either a platform that allows social posts to be as they are, or they are required to abide by editorial laws. And that's what Section 230 doesn't clarify in any way. And that's what the executive order is. And for me, it's a mute issue until the FTC rules. But I can expect the FTC to look at this piece of litigation and go, this is a joke. Like, this is a tissue paper ruling that needs to be way more fleshed out. And I think what we're going to see is at least clear playing rules as to what they can or cannot do. But this stuff drives me nuts. This is not the post I was talking about, by the way. This is me talking about where is her post about the Heroes Act? For just like, okay, so she's retweeting beautiful sites in the USA. Yeah, they still have to abide by the law. Um, they still have to abide by the law. So right now they're currently bound by Section 230. The executive order is going to have the FTC reevaluate 230, and if it gets changed, they can do whatever they want as far as they abide by the law. So if the law changes, they can abide by the law, or they cannot, and they can stop being what they are. But like, this doesn't incite violence. Like, retweeting this nonsense, this doesn't glorify violence and rioting and picketing. Like, why is this still up? This is on Pelosi's page. She retweeted this. Why is this still up? A beautiful sight to behold. AutoZone burning to the ground. This doesn't glorify violence? This doesn't bother me. This is not a problem. This, like it. Yeah. No. Sorry. Yikes. Yikes, man. Yikes. Where's the fact check on this? The best thing we can do is put money in the pockets of the American people first. You know I read through that damn bill. There should be a huge fact check on the bottom of this. And by into the pockets of the American people, what we mean is into the pockets of the people that lobby for the Democratic National Party. Because all that we put out was a giant wish list. It had nothing to do with actually serving the low income families that need that money or the small businesses that need that money. That thing was a giant wish list and a giant farce. No fact check. Like, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is right now, and the fact that it's muddy water, it's gray, is exactly what the executive order is looking to repeal. The executive order is looking to have the FTC look at it, clarify it, define very clearly what a social media platform's responsibilities are. The fact that they are is a huge issue. Is a huge issue. And for me, reading that Section 230, it is the most vague piece of legal I've ever seen, especially when we're talking about a massive implication like social media. Social media is not going to get smaller, it's going to get bigger. And there needs to be a clear definition as to what a social media platform is, how it operates, what it does or what it does not do. And that's the FTC's job. It's the FTC's job to regulate that. So Trump did not come in yesterday on his executive order and say, Twitter needs to shut down, Twitter needs to do what I say, Facebook needs to do what I say, Google and YouTube need to do what I say. He did not come in and say that. What he said is, I am pushing for the FTC and the Communications Commission to reevaluate Section 230 and to give us clear definition as to what the responsibilities are on social media platforms as far as muting, censorship, clarification of data and facts. What are the legal ramifications of them having that or not having that? And he's leaving it to the FTC and the Communications Commission to decide, which is exactly right. So as the president, whether people like it or not, they're two sides of the coin. I think that every business out there every business has to abide by the law. That's not optional. You have to abide by the law. You have to. So what he's done is say FTC needs to review this. FTC needs to come to clarification as to what these platforms are and what their responsibilities are as far as monitoring news, filtering content that's on them. Are they legally liable? Are they not? And I mean, Biden's long board. He said Section 230 needs to be reviewed. He actually didn't say reviewed. He said it needs to be repealed. But reviewed at the very least, I think, is a better step, where you have the FTC, instead of just repealing Section 230 and removing any legal liability, I think instead you just want to review it and have the FTC come to a conclusion. I would prefer that there's clear playing ground rules, and this is the same thing I keep coming back to. It would be akin to everybody taking the field for a game of football, and half of the people are showing up in hockey gear. You got some guys wearing baseball equipment. You got a soccer player standing in the corner wondering what's going on. You got the refs wondering what the rules are. Nobody knows what they're playing with. Is it a puck, a basketball? You got everybody playing a different sport, but the field is meant for football. But we just don't know what that means because nobody's playing by the rules. So we go to look at the rule book, and the rules are saying, well, yeah, you play a game, and both teams get points, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. Like, okay, well, that's not really clear enough. You need to have something that clearly states how the game is played, and that's what we're missing right now in Section 230. So I think that's where the FTC comes in and makes it. I think that's where the FTC shows up and makes that decision. And that's their job. That's what they should be doing. So when Trump sends that off to the FTC, I think that's appropriate. I think that's extremely appropriate. That's something that needed to happen. That's both from a market perspective and somebody who works in digital marketing. It's something that needed to happen. All right. Okay, so hydroxychloroquine has been scrapped. That's gone. National Fuel Gas is going to dump today on an equity offering. Hitachi. Yikes. That's scary. 15,000 jobs over it from Renault. Sovereignty concerns. Yeah, so hydroxychloroquine is off the table, guys. It is no more. This is not a viable treatment, which is not so bad. Tashi. Say anything about a win or a loss. Biden loses economic argument to Trump as U.S. begins to reopen. This is Reuters. U.S. President Donald Trump is trusted more than Democratic nominee Joe Biden to handle the economy, polls show, even with more than 40 million Americans filing jobless claims and growth stalled due to the coronavirus. Biden supporters fear that vulnerability could intensify if Trump becomes the face of an economic recovery. As the country reopens after shutdowns, given the Republican president's re-election prospects a boost when he needs it most. Biden is expected to release a large-scale recovery plan in the coming weeks. Democrats are watching closely to see if his message matches the moment, saying the party's presumptive nominee needs to ramp up criticism of Trump's response to the pandemic and show leadership for moving it forward. Biden has held online events from home during the shutdown, stayed in his basement and did the proper thing, but now it's different, said a leading Democrat. Biden should be out in the communities across the country demonstrating how to reopen businesses while following public health guidelines. He needs to show what life is going to be like and how we are going to do it. Trump has staked his political future on the economy, pushing a return to normal as U.S. deaths from COVID-19 topped 100,000. Biden reached caution. Former vice president has an edge over Trump in overall support ahead of the November 3rd election. Showed Trump with a 42% lead over the 30%, 34% for Biden. And improving economy could play to Trump's strength, said Ian Sams, an advisor to at Navigator, a polling organization. To better compete, Biden must put Trump's mismanagement of the economic fallout of the coronavirus on the front burner, said Sams, who's a spokesman for it. Good luck with that. Biden must put Trump's mismanagement of the economic fallout of the coronavirus on the front burner. Man. All right, man. Good luck out there. It's looking like it's going to be one heck of a day. One heck of a day. Trump's mismanagement of the economic fallout of the coronavirus on the front burner. So the issue that I've got with this is the second Biden opens his mouth and says, The economic reopening is your fault. The fallout is your fault. It's all your fault. It's bad. He's going to go, but you guys wanted me to lock down the economy. It was the Democrats that pushed hard for me to do this. You guys wanted this. You guys are demanding that I didn't even open up the economy. So you can't throw shade about the economic fallout while at the same time making demands that we don't open up the economy. You're immediately a hypocrite and you look like a complete ass, which is where Biden would be left. Democrats should amplify concerns about whether unemployed workers and small businesses have been given enough help. Spokesman for Biden's campaign said has and will continue to make the clear case for an economic recovery that makes rebuilding a stronger, more inclusive middle class a centerpiece. Okay, so this is the standard left-leaning Democrat response is the middle class, middle class, middle class, middle class, middle class. Um, uh, Without any actual interpretation as to how he plans to get that done, a new job corps to employ people who are out of work in contact. So social employment, government employment. That's the plan. Government employment. So public health should trump economic reopening. So right again, from an economic standpoint, the worst case scenario would be opening up and having shut down again. Given where we currently stand, I don't see the shutdown happening again, not at the level that we are, unless we see a mutation or another outbreak into the second flu season. Now, with that being said, when you've got big companies like Pfizer coming out and saying that they could have a vaccine by October, know what I mean? Um, that second wave that Biden seems to be hitching his wagon to. Um, yeah, I don't know that that's the play because we may have a vaccine by then, and then Biden's entire campaign being camped on that notion of um, Biden's entire campaign being on the notion of, well, opening too soon was bad for the economy. Well, if there's not a resurgence, if we don't see a resurgence in this and the vaccine does come out on Trump's timeline as far as Operation Warp Speed is concerned, the biggest problem that Biden is going to face is he's got egg on his face in a big way because the reopening is going to look like it was the right move. Economists see recovery beginning in the third quarter of the job gains expected at more than 2 million, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, but the forecasters still see a double-digit unemployment rate by November. So people are going into this election unemployed. You have to consider, if you are unemployed in the US, who do you trust more to build the economy to provide jobs? The guy that's done it over the last 4 years and built the stock market up, built the economy, the US economy up to the strongest it's ever been? Or do you trust Biden, who is part of Obama's legislation? Which one do you trust? I think you're going to see a lot of people that didn't have jobs before Trump came into office that got jobs, that got employed. We saw the lowest unemployment rate in the history of the US during Trump's presidency. They were employed. During Obama's presidency, they were unemployed. Now we're at a time where they're unemployed because of COVID. Nobody's really placing that on Trump, their unemployment. They're going, COVID happened. Okay, that's why we got unemployed. It wasn't from something Trump did. It was COVID happened. We got unemployed. Now we're going into the next 4 years. Who do we trust to get us our jobs back? Who do we trust to get us a job? Is it going to be the person that couldn't get me a job over 8 years in office? Or is it going to be the guy that had me employed over 4 years into COVID? I think that Biden loses this fight. If this is where he's going to draw the line of unemployment, middle class, we shouldn't have opened up, healthcare first. If we don't see a resurgence, if we don't see it blowing up, Trump walks through this election in November. He walks through it. It's going to be a landslide. It's going to be a landslide. It'll be 4 more years. This is bad for France. Yeah, you tried to expand into U.S. markets and Asian markets, and nobody wants your crappy car. 15% owned by the French state. Yeah, that would be fantastic for that to go under. Seems like a bad time to be president, though. He should retire. He won't retire. He won't. So what he's walking into on this landslide election is he's walking to a Republican-controlled Senate, House. He will get to appoint 2 more Supreme Court judges, which will probably be Republican judges. And I know judges are supposed to be unbiased, not political leaning one way or the other, but you can definitely see judges have a conservative or liberal lean. He will put 2 more conservative Supreme Court judges in. And what he assures in doing that is he now has 4 years where he controls House, Senate, Oval Office, and the Supreme Court, which essentially paves the road for him to do whatever the heck he wants for 4 years. I don't know that if you're being handed the U.S. government on a platter, that retirement is anywhere in your scope. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, we've got some more PR releases. Acquired or acquisition. Now's the time to buy these 3 stocks. Merck. Oh, I wonder who's been saying Merck. Okay, so Acadia. What's this one? Not familiar with that one. I'll have to learn about that one. And Aurinia. Off. This is one that we've looked at over and over and over again over the past few weeks. So yeah, I like off. I like off. I like Merck. I don't know about Acadia though, so I'll take a look at that. Yeah, but I mean the alternative is so like you got Trump. Trump 73. Biden age 77. So our 2 choices now are: do we put a 77-year-old into office or a 73-year-old into office? I mean, heck, at one point we were looking at Bernie Sanders. Dude's 78. Right? Like this is a thing. This is a big deal. Oh yeah, they are all boomers. They are all boomers. For sure. Okay, a couple more press releases here just before we finish. FDA approval. Nothing new there. Acquired or acquisition. Nothing new there. Okay. Good morning, everybody. All right, guys. It is 7 a.m. It is Friday. I want you guys to know that I will be around tomorrow at noon. And I'm going to stream from noon until probably 4 o'clock. So it'll be a longer stream tomorrow. And the reason for that is I am going to be going over the weekly plays. I'll still do the same thing that I usually do. I'll probably hang out in between then and Martini Rita stream, but let's go over to Twitter here. Martini Rita and I on Saturday on Twitch, and I will be on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Let's see if I can find it. I did a lot of tweeting yesterday. There it is. Okay. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. Martini and I are going to do some FA battling on Twitch. The way that it's going to work, guys, is we are going to throw a bunch of different tickers into the pot, throw them all in there. So it's going to be a random assortment. We are going to, at random, have a ticker pulled from the pot. We're going to flip a coin, and one of us is going to have to argue long on the position, and one of us is going to have to argue short on the position. So 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. This is when this is going to go down. Baron of Biopharma against the Lady of the Long Portfolio, Martini Rita versus Millennial Motivator. It's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be a lot of memes, a lot of jokes, a lot of good times. So if you guys are able to catch it, we'd love for you to be there. It will be live on Martini's stream. It'll be live on my stream. It's going to be, oh man, nice trifecta. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. We'd love for you guys to swing through. And who knows, if it does well, we most likely will just keep doing it. Yeah. Look forward to seeing you then, guys. Thank you so much for catching the stream today. stream today. It's been an amazing day, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow. And if not, I will see you next Monday, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, later.